On today's episode of Ask Darren, we'll be installing a TV wall mount. Let's begin. Alright, today on Ask Darren, we're going to be putting up a tilt TV wall mount. This is my wife's wall for her workout equipment. I have a treadmill that's going to be facing this. So I'm going to put up a TV right here, and it's just a tilt TV mount, so it's easy to use. And the TV is just going to hang there, and I'll have a fire stick hang to it, and we'll go from there. So we're going to open up the box. And if you've never installed a TV mount before, it comes with a whole bunch of different parts and accessories to fit pretty much any mount or any TV that's out there. So what you want to do is take everything out of the package and get it out. Take everything out of its plastics. So if you look at these, the way these are is they have a hook on the top. So what it's going to do is it's going to hook onto here, and then you pull this and it actually latches it in place. So there are arrows on here that show you that it's up. So what we'll do is I'm going to set all this stuff down for a second and show you the tools required to do this job. So first off, tape measure. Second is a stud finder. You want a level, a pen, pencil, some sort of marking device, and a screw gun. If you don't have a screw gun, a screwdriver will work. It just makes it a little bit harder. All right, so what you're gonna do is I want it centered on this wall. So this wall is 59 inches. So if we go 29 and a half, which puts me right in the middle of my wall. So my electrical outlet is right in the middle. So this thing, it looks like it has pre-built holes in the center of it. I'm going to take a measurement and make sure. So it's 16 3/4. So knowing that that's going to be center, what we can do is take our stud finder and we can hold this up here. And I know there's a stud right here because this is on that side of the stud. So if you come across, and right there's my stud. So I know I can get something in this hole, and I'll have two solid studs in this one. Now over here, I won't be able to go into anything but drywall. So that being said, they come with different things. So I have an anchor kit and big lag screws to run it in. But this is a very, very small TV, so just these two in the studs would be fine to hold it. It doesn't weigh much at all. So I'm not really worried about putting in other ones once I get these two in. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and get these two in, put my level on top, get it level, then we'll install it on the rails on the back of the TV and get the TV ready to be mounted. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I don't need to hold this up here while I'm making my first hole. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and start my first hole. Now this is just drywall, so I'm just gonna give it a little tap through the drywall. And these have looks like a 3/8 nut on them, but they also have a Phillips. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get this one started. So I got it good and started right now, so I'm gonna back it out. And what you can do, and I should have done, but I'll just vacuum it here in a minute. what you can do is take a piece of painter's tape and run across here, and then take another one underneath of it, and you kind of like build a ledge, so when the drywall dust comes down, it will catch it and it doesn't get all over your floor. But I'm going to vacuum down here anyways, so I'm not really that worried about it. So now that I got that one started, what I can do is I can go ahead and take my level and make sure that is sitting perfectly back against the wall. And then with my level perfectly level, I can go and put this the rest of the way in. But it's starting to be too hard, so I'm actually going to have to get a nut driver and drive the other one in. But I'm going to go ahead and start this one also. That way I can just do both of them at one time. And that one drove in really, really nice. So I'll just go ahead and get it level. And I'll try a different screw. And see if I can get this one to go in too. All right, now that that's done, I'll go ahead and check for level again, and it is actually off just a hair. So I didn't tighten these down completely yet. So what I can do is back one of them off a hair. And then get it perfectly level, and then tighten them down. So now that's tight, it's not going anywhere, but I'm going to go ahead and take advantage and mark my holes over here to keep it from, so if the TV's on there and it gets slid to one side, it could tip. So I'm going to take this one back loose. And then let that drop down a little bit. And then I can actually install these anchors. So you're supposed to have a drill bit to the size of that. But drywall is pretty soft, and a Phillips screwdriver usually works pretty good. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to open these up a little bit, and then they're tapered. So them being tapered, what happens is when I push them in, they'll get tight, and then when they get tight at the very top, then I can just do a little bit more and just tap them in just like that. So with that being done, I can take my other bolts and get them started. And these being plastic anchors, they should go in pretty easy. So now that that one's close to being in, I just want to put this on there a little bit to make sure I'm still level. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the brackets on that actually makes it hold to the wall. So these are actually labeled left side and right side. okay? So honestly, I don't know without looking through the instructions if it's like if you're facing the screen of the TV or if you're facing the back of the TV. So it's probably the back of the TV, but I'll look through the instructions real quick just to make sure, because there's nothing like getting it up there and taking it off. So yes, they're talking to the back of the TV. So what I want to do is I want to space this off the wall a little bit more. So what I want to do is use these spacers, and I'll put these spacers in here and here. And what I actually need to do too is I need to measure the top of this treadmill. So I know that it's, let's say 54 inches gives me a ½ inch of play. So what I can do is come up 54 inches here and know that that's the top of the treadmill. So I can come down off of where it hooks on, let's say 8 inches. So if I measure up on this to where that is 8 inches to the bottom, the TV will be almost perfectly level with the treadmill. But I want to take this up just a hair more to where it is showing none of that in the back. So I got to find my bolts, and they have all kinds of different bolts in here, so I really haven't ever installed a TV mount that didn't have the correct hardware. So what you want to do is you want to get your washer, put your screw in it, figure out where you want it, and then take your screwdriver or screw gun and just lightly tighten it up. All right, and then all we're going to do is repeat on this side. So I'm going to count the holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm in the 7th hole. So what I can do is go ahead and count down 7 on here, and that'll give me perfect alignment. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, so I got that side done. Now, what I'm going to do, since this is not a full motion mount, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to not forget my washer for one, but two, I want to go ahead and install my fire stick and all my plugs. That way I like reaching up and trying to plug it in. I have good access right here, so I'm just going to do it right here now. But if you're putting up a full motion mount, then you really don't have anything to worry about because it's away from there and you can get to it real easy. So with all this done, I want to go ahead and install my components, and then we'll go hang the TV and fire it back up. All right, so I got my cords, and because I don't want my cords to hang down, this is one of the reasons I put the spacers on there. So what I can do with this cord is I can take it and wrap it around my spacers, and then that way, when I go to plug it in, it won't be hanging down at all. So I'm going to leave this one hanging, and then I'm going to do the same thing for my fire stick. All right, so this being a tiny TV, you know, I'm one person, I can hold it up, but your bigger TVs, you're going to have to get a friend to help you, and that way you don't have to worry about dropping it or hurting your screen or doing anything like that. Well, I I just ran into a problem. All right, so when I was installing this, the wall wart for my Fire Stick stuck out too far, and I actually could not physically put the TV on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a power strip and plug it in because it sits flush, and then what I can do is plug that stuff in and have it sitting up like this. So I'm going to go ahead and try to install this one more time. So as you can see, TV's on the wall. I'll actually clean it. I'll recenter the treadmill to the wall, and then my wife will be happy when she's running because she can watch her shows again. So thank you for going through this quick little tutorial. Hopefully you found it interesting, and hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.